team. We're going to work on Chapter 4, Excel Grader, Rockville Auto Sales. When you download the file, you should have a tab on Fleet Information, Sales Information, and First Quarter Sales. We'll be working on Fleet Information to begin, and I'll make it a little bigger so it's easy to see. Step 2, freeze the first row of Fleet Information worksheet. So we're going to go up here to View, and in the View, we're going to pick Freeze Panes, but you do want to take the drop-down menu because there's several choices. We'll be freezing the top row. This enables us to keep A1, B1, C1 available even though we can scroll past our data. There's a huge advantage of being able to see at the bottom row of data what that column of information means. So we've frozen the first row, and we're going to save, and that's the end of step 2. Step 3, convert the data to a table. Let's start there. I like to highlight my data, so I'm going to scroll on down to cell F104, and I come all the way up to F1. You want to make sure you get your row 1 in this table highlight. Come on over to the Insert tab, and then we're going to click Table. It is important to know that the interactive table has so many capabilities. Sort and filter in columns, it's awesome. Now we have a Create Table dialog box, and in this pop-up box, it's telling you want the data from A1 with absolute cell references, those are those $signs, to F104. We also want to make sure that our Check My Table has headers, which is our VIN, make, model, year, mileage, and sticker, is indeed checked. Click OK and watch your table change. Well, watch your data change. And now it says name the table. If your table is still highlighted, you would be on the Design tool. If you're not, go ahead and highlight your table, come to Table Tools and Design, and come over here to the left side to Table Name. Highlight Table Name, type the word Inventory, and then click your Enter button. This will save the table name, but I always go back and hit my Save button just to be sure. And we're still highlighted. We're going to come over here to Table Data Styles and do the pull-down menu. On the pull-down menu, I'm going to pick Medium 19. So that's 28. That's 21. And that's 14. I think it's over here. It ends up being the gold color on my computer. The main thing you want is where you see that highlight of Table Style Medium 19. Click that. Your table should turn gold headers with white font, and save, and that's the end of step 3. Now, step 4 says to remove duplicate records. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my whole table again, and then I'm going to come to the Design tab, and on the Design tab I'll be at the Tools panel, and I'm going to click Remove Duplicates. It's really important to realize that Excel will identify any row of information that has an exact row copy. If there's one number off, it won't call it a duplicate. But if it finds a duplicate, it will remove and delete that information. So you'll only have a single entry. I'm going to click Remove Duplicates, and it says, do you want to select them all? And we do by default. And then we click OK, and it says you have removed 3 duplicate values. Now remember earlier we had 104 rows of data. Let's scroll down, and now you have 101 rows of data, or 100 because that first row is really our titles. I'm going to save again, and that's the end of step 4. Sort the table by make in alphabetical order, and then add a second level. The first thing you want to do is come over here to the make column and click sort in alphabetical order, and it will order your cars with the BMWs first and the Toyotas last. And then the next thing you want to do is come on over here, highlight your table. I like to highlight the table. And then come over to Sort and Filter on your Home tab. At Sort and Filter, I've already built this custom sort, but I'm going to show you how I did it. I click Custom Sort, and we have a sort by make, which is what we just did, and values in A to Z. And now it's asking us to add a second level sort by year. So we add level, and then we go by year, and it asks us to do smallest to largest. Then it asks for a third sort by sticker price. We add sort, we say by sticker price, and again smallest to largest, and click OK. And so now it has your oldest car, your BMW, a 2000, listed first for $22,000, and that's your least expensive, oldest BMW. And that's the end of step 5. Step 6, repeat the field names on all pages. So the first thing you want to do is click on the Page Layout tab. And on Page Layout tab, you want to go ahead and go into Print Titles. In Print Titles, on the Sheet tab right here, you want to print titles of print rows to repeat at top. So you click here, and then you highlight A1 to F. Oops, F1. Or you can just type it, since it doesn't want to do that for me, A1 to F1. And there's nothing wrong with going ahead and doing an absolute cell reference on that area. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to hit F4. It should give me a $. It did not. I'm going to go ahead and try it again. I'm going to just add those $. I happen to be on a laptop, and it doesn't really like that, does it? All right. And this is telling, it's not going to do it because we're in an interactive table. A1, F1. That's what we're going to stick with. We want these rows to repeat at top as titles on all sheets. So we're going to go ahead and go OK. And we'll just check and make sure. And there it is, VIN, date, sticker, sales price. And over here, we have VIN, date, sticker, sale price. So we're good. You'll notice that some of the titles change because some of the different tables don't have all the same information. And that's the end of step 6. Step 7, change page breaks so each vehicle make is printed on a separate page. So we've got all our vehicle makes of our BMWs. We want to go down to where the BMWs stop and where the Chevy Malibu starts. And so I'm going to click in cell A34. I'm going to go ahead and turn it a color. You don't have to do this, but I want you to see where I was working at so you could easily find that location on your cell, on your worksheets. I clicked in cell A34, and then I'm going to go to Page Layout, and Page Break. I want to insert a page break. I click that. When I do that, you see a little gray line here, and if you're real careful, hopefully on the video you can see the little dotted ants or dotted sign, kind of like marching ants, people say. That gray line lets you know that the page break was made, and this printable line shows you where it would print and not include this stuff over to the right. So now we need to go on down to the next car series. Oops, I went too far. After Chevy, the next one is cell 46, and I'm going to turn that one pink too so you can see what I'm working at. I'm in cell A46, and I'm going to go to Insert again, and Page Layout is where I'm supposed to be, and hit Breaks, hit Insert Page Break, and again you can see my gray line and my dotted line. I'm going to come on past the Ford makes, and then I'm on the Honda Civic. I'm on cell A69, and I'm going to go to Page Layout tab. I'm going to go to Break, and I'm going to insert break. I can again see my gray line, hope you can at home, and I'm going to come on down, and I'm at Toyota, and I'm going to click cell A90, and on the Page Layout tab in cell A90, I'm going to pick Breaks for page break, and I'm going to click Insert Page Break, and I'm going to, I believe that's it. That's the end of our pages. So each one of those will print on its own page, each make. I saved, and that's the end of step 7. Still working in Excel chapter 4, we're on step 8. Add a footer with your name on the left side, and then the sheet name in the center, and the file name on the right side. So when I do this, I go to Page Layout, Margins, and I go ahead and head on over to Custom Margins. You could also click the Page Setup dialog box because it gives you the header footer dialog box. You want to make sure you can go into Custom Header so you get the 3 components necessary to make this footer. You put your first and last name here, not first and last name, your first and last name. On the center section it says sheet name code. If you flip your mouse over here, you can see the different icons and what their names are. The third from the last is the sheet name. Then I hit my tab key. Then I hit file name, and that's what it wanted for the right side. Once we've done that, we've clicked OK. Gives you a small print preview here. This is the name of the tab of the worksheet, and this is the name I saved the workbook under. I'm going to click OK, and that is the end of step 8. Now it says click the sales information worksheet. That means we're done with this fleet information worksheet. We want to click the second tab and get to a second set of data. Convert the data to a table. Do you remember how we did that? We highlighted the data. So here we're in D30. We're going to come up to A1. We went to Insert. We chose Table. And then when the pop-up dialog box appeared, we made sure that we make Table as Header is checked and click OK. We can make this a little bigger so you can view it at home. And then it's asking us to name the table Sales. So we're going to come up here to Table Name. You should be in Design. If you don't have the table tools, you can click your table and then Table Tools will appear, and Design. Over here in the first panel is Properties. We're going to highlight underneath the table and name it Sales. And I hit the Enter key to make Sales stick, and very often I'll go ahead and save. And then it says apply the table style dark 11. We are still in the Design tab, and we come over here to Table Styles. We want to go to the dark ones, which are way down here at the bottom. See where you have medium, light, and here's dark. So it's asking us to do dark style 11. It's interesting, here it is named green table style dark 11. So I click that, I save, and that is the end of step 9. Now on step 10, it's asking us to type % of sticker in cell E1. Anything we do on the column attached to the interactive table and on the row beneath the interactive table, Excel will assume you want it to be part of this table. So all we have to do is type our % of sticker, Shift 5 of sticker price, so that's what it's looking for. We hit Enter, and Excel immediately makes it part of the interactive table. That's the end of step 10. Step 11, create a formula with structured references. This means we're going to click on the sales that are part of our formula to calculate the % of sticker price in column E. I'm going to click in cell E2 and type an equal sign. Then if I want to know % of sales, I'm going to take my sale price and I'm going to divide it by my sticker price. So I clicked equals cell D2 and I clicked it. I didn't type it. Then it brought the field name up of sale price. I hit divided by underneath my question mark and then cell C2, which stands for the field name sticker price. This will give me a percent value of the final sale. I hit enter and the value goes all the way down our column. I want to go ahead and center this for you, but you are not asked to do that in the assignment. Now, right now, it is giving me the decimal point of this value, but I want percentage. So I'm going to come up to my Home tab up here in the number panel and click my pull down menu and hit percent. It will automatically multiply all those decimal values by 100 and give us the percent symbol along with it. It also happens to give us double decimals afterwards. In some cases, you might be asked to get rid of those decimals, but at this point in time, we haven't been asked that. I'm going to save, and that's the end of step 11. We actually just finished this, but I thought I'd show you again. In step 12, it asks us to format the range E20, so I'm going to highlight cell E2, not E20, to E30, and make it a percent style number format. So I'm going to come up here to number. I'm going to take my pull down menu and I'm going to go to percentage style. And now we have our numbers multiplied by 100 and we have a percent at the end. I'm going to save, and that's the end of step 12. Step 13, add a total row to display the average of percent of stickers. We're right here. I'm going to decrease this a little bit so you can see where I'm going. I'm going to come on down beneath percent of stickers row, and I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller so you can see, hopefully, maybe a little bit bigger. And I'm going to click in cell E31. Now it's asking us to do average. I can come to my Home tab or my Formula tab and go to Auto Sum. And once I've clicked underneath that column, I can click average. By doing so, Excel adds an interactive table row to that whole last row of 31 and makes each row able to give you a total or an average. I can click here in the next cell, and I can click my pull down menu and make a sum for my sales price. And I can click the next cell and make a sum for my sticker price. Pretty nifty. Save, end of step 13. 14. Auto-fit the columns of B to E. I'm going to highlight B to E, and I'm going to come over here on the Home tab, and I'm going to come over to Format, and I'm going to click Column with Auto-fit. I click that. I go sure and make sure I save, and that Excel makes it so all data is readable and not hidden. And that's the end of step 14. Step 15, apply a solid blue fill data bars conditioning to the percent of data sticker price. So I'm going to click cell E30 and highlight all the way up to cell E2. Then on my Home tab, I'm going to come to conditioning formatting. I'm going to go to data bars, and I'm going to pick solid fill blue data bars. And we easily have a visual view in color of what our data means. 100%, the cell is all the way colored across. 60%, the cell is a little bit over halfway colored across. That's the end of step 15. Please save. Step 16, select the range E2 to E30 and create a new conditioning formatting rule that uses the formula to apply a yellow fill, bold font, and shows what has sold for less than or equal to 70%. We're going to come up on the Home tab to Conditioning Formatting, and we're going to click Highlight Rules. We have all sorts of choices, but most of these choices are only one condition. We've actually been asked two. We've been asked to create a formula that shows us a less than or equal to 70%. So we're going to click More Rules, and then in the Format Only Cells with Value, we're going to click here and go all the way down to less than or equal to, and then we will type 70% in our format cells, and now we're going to go color it. It asks us to format with both a bold and a yellow fill. So we'll click Format, and we'll come over here and we'll go bold for the font, and then we'll get to Fill, and we'll pick yellow for fill, and then we go OK and OK, and you see this is equal to 70% and this is less than 70. And that's the end of step 16. On the first quarter sales worksheet, we've been working in sales information in the last step, step 16. We're now going to go to the third tab on the auto sales sheet and workbook, and we're going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see what's happening. And it wants us to rename the table. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight my table, and then I'm going to head on over to Design. So as you can see, the Table Tools has appeared, and I have Design, and right here it's named First, but it wants us to name first quarter. You don't want a space, you do want a capital. You could retype first quarter or just add quarter after first, and you want to hit the Enter key and then save and make sure that your table name is still appearing. That's the end of step 17. Step 18. Filter the data to display January, February, and March sales. Right now we have a date sold, and so we're going to click our pull down menu, and you can see we've had all the months selected right here below. So I just deselect, select all, so none of the months are here showing, and then it asks us to use January, February, and March. And so we have just these 3 months selected, no others, and then we say OK. Our data is decreased down to about 10 rows, and that's the end of step 18. I'm going to save. Step 19, add a footer. This is very similar to what we did in step 8. Actually, it's the same, but we're adding this information for the first quarter sales. So I'm going to come to page layout. I like to go to margins. You can also click here on page setup, but I, for whatever reason, go all the way down to custom margins. I enjoy telling my students there's always 7 different ways to do the exact same thing in any Office software. So we go to header, footer, we pick custom header, and then we have our 3 selections. It asks us to put our first and last name. You should be typing your first and last name. Hit the tab key, and then it says find the sheet name code, which is the 3rd icon from the end. You can hover your mouse over the icons and it will tell you what each one stands for. Then I hit tab and it asks us to include the file name code. Click that in the right section, click OK. You can see a print preview of how it will show on the bottom of your sheet and say all right. I save at the end of step 19, and we're going to go on down to step 20. Select landscape orientation for all sheets. I'm going to click on my first quarter sales tab. I'm going to come up to orientation, and I'm going to click landscape. And then I'm going to go to my second tab, sales information. I'm going to go to page layout, orientation, and again, click landscape. And then finally, I'm going to go to fleet information, which are our first tab, go to orientation and landscape, and again, I will save. And that's the end of step 20. Step 21, save the workbook and submit to my IT lab for grading. The end of step 21.